Welcome to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson, and we're talking boxing again today. I'm with Charles Presnell, Dave Foley, and the film is the setup from 1949. It's a classic boxing movie, very dark, brutal film. It stars Robert Ryan as Bill Stoker Thompson, who's a battle-worn veteran. He's 35 in the film. He looks about 40. He's what you call a trial horse, right? He's a guy that goes and fights young guys and basically takes a beating most of the time. The film also stars Audrey Totter, who was a B-movie starlet back then, as his wife Julie. I'm going to give a capsule summary of the film, and then we'll talk about it. So we're in an unnamed city. It could be Paradise City, because you see that, where Stoker Thompson is in a hotel room getting ready for a fight. And it's a 4-round fight. It's not the main event. It's not the semi-main. It's actually a wrap-up fight after the main event. And he wants his wife to come with him, and she's just tired of this. She's tired of all the losing, and she doesn't want to do this anymore. So he goes there himself, and the fight will take you through in its entirety. This is a film that's in real time, but Stoker goes in the dressing room, and there's other boxers, and they go through their fights, and Stoker gets prepared, and then there's drama outside the ring where you have, I guess he's a hood, right? And he's trying to back the fighter Stoker is fighting, and he's made a deal with Stoker's manager and trainer to actually have Stoker take a dive, but no one told Stoker. And meanwhile, his wife is walking through the streets, worried about the fight, horror, just really full of fear he's going to get knocked out. She can't bring herself to come. I want to ask an initial question here. Stoker has lost a lot of fights, right, Charles and Dave? And if you look at ring record books from the 40s and look at 1941, 1942, 1943, you'll see a lot of boxers who fight 20, 25 times a year, and they lose about 80% of the fights. And they fight in very small towns. Here's Stoker, who's been fighting for 20 years. He's probably got a record, I'd imagine, of 20 and 60 or something, all right? That might be charitable. Why is he still fighting? Why is it so difficult? Both of you are former professional fighters. So what is about the pull that keeps you in the fight game? How do you resist it?
First,
go ahead.
I'll ask you, where is Paradise City?
I know it's not in New York City because I talk about trying to get into New York City.
Okay. Is that where the grass is green and the girls are pretty?
Paradise City could be an athletic club.
Okay.
But I don't, that could be the city. I know it's not at the big time. He's in a mid-range arena now.
Well, it's kind of like coming to Ogden to do a fight. You know, somebody like Billy Zumbrun, who lives here and whatnot, he comes back home to Ogden to do a fight. Yet he is going on the road all the time fighting against the bigger fighters for the bigger paydays. So going to Paradise City would be like coming to Ogden to do a fight, like the recent boxing card here. You had some guys that were just trying to build their record, get another win, get a couple of wins, so they can maybe get called up to a Las Vegas fight or a California fight where they're going to get considerable more money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a guy like Stoker's. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, no, we didn't answer your question, man.
Yeah.
The question you asked is the same question everyone asks.
Why is Stoker doing it?
Why do you keep fighting after you should retire? And Jim Lampley, I saw an interview with Jim Lampley talking about Sugar Ray Leonard. And him were really good friends. He says the way Lampley says is the best, because he's like, in the most heartfelt, as in a friendship way, I was asking him, Ray, why don't you quit? And he said, Lampley said that, he said, I've eaten at restaurants and I've owned restaurants. I've danced in nightclubs and I've owned nightclubs. I've done everything that I could try to do to recreate that feeling, and there's nothing that can compare to being out there bare-chested with just your trunks and your shoes in front of the world and getting up off that stool just to go face you and one man, like, there's nothing like it. I mean, I'm telling you, I've skydived. It doesn't come close to taking a boxing match. I've done a lot of fun things.
Well, you both have
And-
scored knockouts. What did it feel like scoring knockout?
It's the greatest.
I didn't see yours, Charles, but I saw him knock out some undefeated guy with a big mouth from Louisiana. Go on with your answers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Doug, for mentioning that.
What did it feel like?
To score a knockout?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of, it kind of pumps you up. You feel really good because here you are, you go in the ring and I don't know. I personally always look to try to knock the person out. I didn't like going the distance. I never trusted judges. I mean, I had probably more tough man type fights than actual, sanctioned amateur fights. So I never really trust the judges or anything but that's just me. And just kind of, I like to swing. I like to knock them out. So when if I knock somebody down, it's just that dopamine hit, right? Mm-hmm. People get it. Some people get it from skydiving. Some people get it from watching their phone or whatever you have to do to get that dopamine hit. Mine was punching somebody in the face and seeing them fall down, or just be hurt. I remember I uppercutted this one kid. I say kid, but I was 16 at the time, and his head went back and came forward, and his face was just all bloody, and the crowd screaming, and that was like one of the best feelings that kind of hooked me, because it's like, yeah, that was the only fight that I had at my high school, and it was a high school night of fights, and after that, nobody messed with me.
Do you think that's what's keeping Stoker Carmichael going? The feeling? Because he keeps telling his wife, I can take this guy, I can take this guy. And she's saying, yeah, what about the last 6 times, all right? But I can take this guy. Is the past wins keeping someone going? Dave, what do you think?
Well, I would like to just also elaborate on that the whole boxing thing. Like, the reason it's it's people, like when you say you get a dopamine hit from knocking somebody out, I think that's simplifying it a little, because people just think, I mean, it's all aggro or something, but it's not. You're scared to death, man. You want to crap before the fight. World champions have, like in the movie, it portrays people throwing up before the fight. People.
Yeah, the youngster.
Man, people will get sick before fights. World champions are nervous. They have more on the line. There's millions of dollars involved. And then even if it's just you in your first fight, you want to do good for your family, your coach, your friends. There's so much involved. And people say like public speaking is scary and this and that. People say comedy is hard. Man, boxing is hard. And so that's why when you have any success, you want that again. You want to recreate that. And people are also, so back to what you said about Stoker, people are kind of disillusioned, man. Like, you always think, well, I got one more in me. And that's why everyone buys lottery tickets and stuff, right?
You guys are long
Do you think?
retired, but occasionally you felt a pull, right? To go back to it?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Because you
Every time I'm at the fight still,
Yeah.
once my fighters are done fighting and I have like 2 beers, and then I look up and I'm like, oh man, I think I could still do this.
You start hearing the crowd. You're watching the fight, and you see all the angles that are going on, watching one fighter's legs getting tired, and you're just seeing all the openings, and it's just like, if I was in there, this is what I would be doing.
and I think you're getting to what's keeping Stokely going. All right?
Well, I think there's
I
a...
think
Stoker,
that we can
not
find
Stoker.
another old guy my age, right?
What amazes me about that, by the way, you guys talked about watching fighters. Did you notice the first 2 minutes of this movie or maybe a minute is only showing the fighters from the legs down, and then one hits the
did.
canvas.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
interesting film technique, wasn't it, to start the film?
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody thinks he's going to beat Tiger Jones, the guy he's supposed to fight. Nevertheless, Stoker's manager, whose name is Tiny, and his trainer, whose name is Red, two of the scummiest people in the film, sell him out, agreeing to take a dive against Tiger Jones after the second round for $50. It's so funny how Tiny tells Red it's only $30. But nobody is bothering to tell Stoker. They're hoping he gets knocked out. And
He always loses anyways,
Yeah.
so
yeah, and they
might
think
as
he's going to
well-
lose anyways. 'cause-
Might as well accept some money for him to
They-
take a dive, and then we just don't tell him to take a dive, and we got more money for us.
Yeah, they
Good
basically
idea.
figured we got our guy in the ring. He's getting his payday from his purse. This is our little bit of extra, and it happens all the
Charles,
time.
what's the name of the book we read recently?
It's not really a bribe. It's not really a bribe all the time, but a trainer or a manager might, from a promoter, be given a little bit extra to bring the guy in, bring in a guy that maybe isn't that skilled, maybe can't make weight, maybe lost 2 or 3 fights in a row that's probably going to lose. And that manager brings his fighter in knowing that he's going to lose, but I don't see this happen.
Taking
I
the
see this happening
blood's
more in the
money.
classic than in the days this movie was made than now. I mean, it probably happens
Well, that's
now.
that book we read recently about the guy who was promoting Mitch Blood Green and things like
Yeah.
that. He was doing that crap, wasn't he?
Right,
Too?
right. You give
Have
him
you
a-
guys ever encountered people like that in the business? Dave, you ever encountered someone? You don't have to name them. I'm just wondering.
Hey, that's a really interesting, good question. Not really, no. Man, I mean, basically everyone in that business sort of has to bring in, obviously you want to bring in fighters that are going to lose to your guys. Come on, it only makes sense. So, but I've never heard of anyone actually being bribed. But, I mean, come on, look at the last show. There's always tomato cans,
Right.
being brought in to just
Right.
sit there for local fighters to win.
I'll never forget seeing Marcus Rhodes after his loss to Billy, and you probably were involved with the promotion.
This is
going up-
actually, it actually happened on this day. What, that would have been 12 years ago?
Yeah, and I saw someone giving Rhodes like 20s, and he was saying he's getting paid that way. Now, it wasn't a bribe, but he was getting the money that way.
That's because he demanded cash.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
demanded cash, and we had to open the till.
That
We
was
sold these tickets, so here.
let's go back to the plot a little bit. So this guy's being set up, all right? And there's a mob guy. They call him Little Boy. I don't know why, but he is the stereotypical mobster.
That was kind of funny.
No
how it was,
emotion
though.
or
Hey,
anything,
little boy.
And so nobody tells Stoker. And I'm going to diverge a little bit right now because I want to get into the dressing room and ask you guys if you recognize this. As I mentioned before, this movie goes in real time, although there is some license for real time. It's hard to think they'd get through 4 fights. But there's 4 fighters before him. And one is the youngster making his pro debut, who totally nervous and pukes. The other is a guy like Stoker, but he's worse off. His name is Gunboat. And he absolutely believes he's going to win, and he's going to win the world championship because other guys have lost 20 times in a row and won it also. And then there's sort of a disinterested trial horse. Can't remember his name, but he's talking about how he'll take 1,000,000 to 1 odds. He doesn't care. And then there's the big prospect who's moving up, the main event fighter, who's got lots of all the confidence in the world and everything. Do you ever see people like that when you were in dressing rooms?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
There's
yeah,
always
I love
one.
it. I love it, man. I love when somebody's so stupid they don't know what they're doing, so they're not scared at all. They literally just, hey, it's hilarious, man. I've cornered people. I trained one guy who took a fight. He's lined up his own fight. And me and my other buddy, we had been trained together for years and years. And we were like, why is he so confident, man? He went out and fought, and he did not win. But before the fight, he thought he was going to win. People are a little disillusioned, man. It's wild.
Well, they're living in the fantasy world, aren't they?
Oh my gosh, man.
Do you have some
Well, I think everything's kind of a, I don't know. You know, going back to the original question, what keeps us going? I mean, the main character, he's justifying it with his wife. Well, if I win, that's 150 for the rematch. 50 tonight, that's 150. And if I win that one, then I might get ranked again, and then maybe I can get $500 and I could open the cigar stand, right? We always look like, I would think sometimes like that. Well, I fight a couple of these smaller fights, then maybe I can get a Vegas fight, maybe I can get a fight, get offered like $5,000 for a fight, and then maybe we could do this. I remember I got called to fight on the Canelo Mayweather undercard, and they were offering $3,000. I called my wife. You know how you wanted that new refrigerator? And she's like, no. It's just kind of one of those things. You have your heads in the clouds sometimes, and you always think there's one more fight in you. And that's part of it. But even like, I mean, I'll be honest. Gary, who was supposed to be here, he messaged me after the first card in February. Hey, Charles, what would you think about doing one more? Just you and me. We'll go out there. We'll put on a show. It'll be fun. He's laying it on to really be a salesperson. Gary's kind of like that sometimes. Yeah, Kobe. Yeah. And I'm like, I told him, Gary, you know what? I'm 45. I'm going blind in one of my eyes. I've got 3 kids. I want to make sure that, and I'm not in any shape to fight this, that, the other. I got to be honest. I get shots in my eyes every 2 months. I was asking my ophthalmologist, what's the chances of me fighting again? I was at the kidney doctor. What's the chance? Is it going to hurt my kidneys if I box again? Not that I would even, not that I would want to box again. It's just kind of, hey, maybe that thought could still be in my mind that I could
But
fight.
you're still asking people,
Hey, man,
right?
Gary Kobe, you know him. He's your friend.
You know what? He's lucky he's not here. I planned on slapping him in the face and accepting the challenge today. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Gary, I'm kidding. Don't private message me.
Well, you told me one time about possibly fighting Mosley Jr., right? You were thinking about that at one time, Dave. It didn't happen, but...
Man, no, man. That is true. I got offered that, and I mean, that one, I probably, whatever. I don't know why I didn't take that. But the one that I regret taking is I got offered a fight with Andre Ward. You know about this?
Yeah, could tell us that. Tell us.
But I didn't take it, and a guy from Montana named Ben Aragon took it, and he ended up getting knocked out by Andre Ward, and that could have been me. And I will always regret it, man. Imagine, I was like watching Creed, and then boom, there's Andre Ward.
I don't understand how Andre Ward would allow himself to get knocked out in Creed 2.
Oh yeah, man, it's a movie.
Yeah, but he never
Man,
lost.
I can't believe Conor McGregor let freaking what's his name beat him up in Roadhouse.
Good point.
It's about money, yeah.
Dude, it's
But what if you had
No,
millions of
but
dollars?
I get that too.
Doug. Let's go back to Doug talking about Andre Ward tainting his legacy by losing.
You know what?
He didn't, but you know what? Rocky
I didn't even watch
Marciano.
Creed 2, so I didn't even know that happened.
Okay,
I
Rocky
don't think
Marciano was in a
it-
TV show,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And he said, no way, I never lost a fight in the real ring, I'm not going to get knocked out. So they changed it to allow him to be shot.
Wow. Well, you know the Michael Jackson song "Bad."
Mm-hmm.
Well, the beginning of that music video has these games. It was supposed to be Prince in that music video, but Prince wouldn't let he didn't want Michael Jackson to say, "Your butt is mine."
Really?
Yeah, this is out of Prince's mouth, man.
Okay,
Look it up.
back to the movie. There's a guy
Don't
named...
take my word for it.
in the-
Give it a Google.
This interests me. There's a guy named Gus in the dressing room who gets everybody ready. He's played by Wallace Ford, who's in, for cult movie fans, he's in Freaks, he's in The Ape Man, he's in The Mummy's Hand. But anyways, he's the guy that gets everybody ready for the fight. I know I didn't think that's funny, but we do cult movies on this podcast.
No, that's fine,
Okay,
man.
so,
No.
but anyways, he gets all the fighters ready. He's wearing a wife beater. Everybody likes him and knows him. And do you have characters like that in the fight? You know, in the dressing rooms, who do that?
Oh yeah, man. Everybody around here knows everybody. I was trying to think. I didn't want to call out any tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? But like, but also there's the local guys that are kind of like Court McGee. Everybody knows.
Yeah,
You
Court,
see him in the
yeah.
locker room. Ramsey, Seiler, all the guys that have made it. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Who's the guy who's really?
They excite everybody when they're in their corner. You know what I mean?
Who's the guy who's like in his 40s now, almost 50, and he's married to Michelle somebody. I can't remember his name. He's an MMA legend. I hate him.
Local?
Yeah, he's from
Foreign?
Utah fighter. Well, the reason I was going to bring him up is he's made last few years he's fought some club boxing matches too. But I cannot. Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy Horn.
Jeremy Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably someone around the industry too, isn't he? Things like that.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's a local legend. I
What
mean,
are some of the people in Nevada?
I don't think
Oh,
he's
go on.
really from here though, but he's living here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would look up BoxRec and see him fighting like in Duluth. I'm just making this up.
Yeah.
And scoring a second round knockout.
Yeah.
Well, who are some Nevada Western people who you came across?
Like Jesse Brinkley, Joey Gilbert. They'd come in. They'd come and talk to all the young guys and whatnot. The funny thing is the guy who pumped up everyone the most at the Reno cards that I remember is a guy named Repo Rick, and he is one of these guys. He promotes cards in Tijuana, so he builds guys up. He promoted cards at a casino in California. But he goes in there, he'd high five everybody, be like, Repo here, Repo, I'm here to pay some child support, and just get everybody laughing, everybody rolling, everyone in a good mood. So probably Repo Rick, if I thought about it. But celebrities that have made it, I mean, like I said, Jesse Brinkley, who fought Lucien Boutte, was fourth runner-up on the Contender. Joey Gilbert was on the first Contender.
Name that guy again. Was fourth on the Contender.
Jesse Brinkley.
Oh yeah, okay. All
Who
right.
is the
That's
guy-
How, that's how
bald
I
guy.
remember. That's how I remember that.
Yeah.
name,
Who's the guy
Jesse
that
Brinkley.
brought Bronco Billy Wright, who's from the Far East sometimes? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Chauncey Welliver?
Chauncey Welliver. That's another person you probably came across, right?
No, because he's from the Pacific Northwest. I just know him really well because we would talk
Okay.
on. We had some similar connections, so we got connected, and we'd talk on social media and on the phone a lot. So he would actually promoted some cards up in the Northwest that I was going to go up to. One of them, I was actually heading out there, and then Teddy Atlas the week before just badmouthed the card on ESPN because Chauncey was going to fight Iron Barkley, and Iron Barkley was like 56 or something at the time. It's that that Dave could have fought Andre Ward syndrome, right? It's kind of a, well, you know what? I want one of those big names on my record, and that's another thing.
I was
that
younger
keeps you
than
going.
when I got off
Yeah.
of that fight.
Yeah.
But
That's another thing that keeps you going. I mean, I can imagine that Gary took the fight against Oliver McCall because, I mean, whether, win
I can
win
see
or
why
lose,
he would do it.
That's a huge opponent on his record, even though he also fought Gerald Washington, who fought a lot of contenders and fought for the world title.
I would have liked to have had Gary on right now because he is in this mode of still trying to fight. Do you think, I would ask him, do you think you could still be a contender? Because when does that go
no,
away?
man.
No.
When does
I don't
that go
think
away?
He does. Like, I mean,
Or do you dream of being a contender?
well, hey, I'm not gonna lie. That's part. So after my last fight, when I got home,
That was in Canada, right?
no,
Oh, I thought you fought. Okay, you fought one more time after that.
no, I fought a lot of times after that. I
Okay.
fought a lot of times around here, right?
Yeah, I know. I just
fought. I'm saying after my last fight, it was probably in 2017 in Salt Lake. It was a Thai boxing match.
Okay, you were doing kickboxing also.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
Yeah.
This was Thai boxing.
Yeah. Okay. Same. Yeah, you're right.
It's not the same.
Okay.
Elbows,
I concede that.
and
Okay.
knees, full clinch. But, anyways, when I lost and I got home that night, I cried because I knew I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it was at that moment I knew I just couldn't compete anymore at the level I wanted to compete at, right? So I knew I wasn't going to be a contender or a champion or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So you have to deal with it.
Sugar Ray knew he wasn't going to be the champ again, right? Roy Jones knew he wasn't going to be the champ again. Doesn't mean now I couldn't take a fight just to take a fight for fun against some other guy on my, you know what I'm saying? That's why these guys, so, you know, not everyone that's still fighting things are going to be a champion.
So it's for the
Guaranteed.
dopamine.
Guaranteed Kobe.
It's part of that, and it's money.
that whole thing, man. Now he gets to fly out over the state, get interviewed by people, fight somebody, go out there in front of. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's
And I see that. What's interesting about Stoker is he's being jeered as he goes in the ring. People are laughing at him. But he's
People
still,
were laughing at Gary. Okay,
You're right,
I don't
you're
want
right.
to. I don't
No,
want to.
what you said was-
I don't want to poke fun at Gary, and I hope he doesn't feel like this is a personal attack. Because I know he watches the podcast. I know he'll probably watch this one. But the announcers were poking fun of him during that fight with Oliver McCall. They were saying, "Oh, he's just the happiest guy in the ring." And then after the fight, they're talking about, "Oh yeah, it looks like he showed up here just wanting to be in there, say he was in the ring with the champ, and you know, first time he gets a little bit of a bloody nose and a hurt arm, he goes running back to Utah."
They remind me of some of the people in the ring during the setup.
Well, the thing is Mark Abrams.
No,
one
no,
of the-
I meant outside the ring. I'm sorry,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
audience.
yeah.
In the audience.
And it was very reminiscent of it. They're playing country music right before the fight. All of the fights before that, Oliver McCall, they were typical Southern fights. I mean, if you've ever go down, they looked more like Tough Man. One guy's just running at the ring, free swinging. It was almost movie-like. I mean, the quality of those
I don't
fights
like Triller.
were
I
really
don't think
bad.
Triller does a good job in boxing anymore. And I think they were associated with Gary's fight with
Right.
Oliver McCall. Not good
I'm
announcers.
just gonna say, man, we wouldn't be talking about Gary if we weren't all really good friends. with
Yeah,
Gary.
if we weren't
Gary is
friends
my
with him,
boy, and
we
like-
didn't respect and love him, and Gary's like a brother to me. So
it takes tremendous
he's-
courage to get in the ring. It takes
So
tremendous
we're
courage.
yeah.
Well, let's go back to the setup a little bit. You had stereotypical, although well done, stereotypical fans. You had the woman who told her husband at the beginning, "I don't want to go to this fight." She's the most vicious and bloodthirsty, right? Kill him, kill him,
Oh,
kill
yeah,
him.
yeah,
You know? And then you had the gangster mole who you know is betting $100 poor Mr. Little Boy is paying for it. And standing up, and they say, "Sit down." She goes, "What? You don't like the view?" You know, stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
they have the fat guy who must eat 9 or 10 different things during the fight.
Ugh,
He's just
man, that guy, greasy face, shiny face, has always bothered me, and a lot of it.
Do you
that
see
movie
that in
had
fight cards around here or in the past? 'Cause
What?
They're very stereotypical. Do you see those type of?
Oh man, I did notice that they were saying, you know, knock him out, kill it.
Do you remember the guy going like this? And his
That's-
wife's trying to
that's
control
typical.
him.
That's typical. You know what my wife loves is when people say, you ever heard people say, "Do what you do." Do what you do. You ever heard that saying?
Not to me, but
Do what
I've
you
heard
do.
that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Well, you've heard me, if you watch any of my videos, losing it and yelling at Joe and go Joe, go Joe, go, all right. And I feel foolish afterwards because what the heck do I know? I'm not in there doing this, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes that do what you do and whatnot, I heard Bill Burr. He was talking to another comedian, like a legendary comedian, I can't remember who it was, on his podcast. And the older comedian was saying, you just always have to remember when you're up there, if you start bombing, just go to the material. Even if you think that the crowd's heard it 1,000 times because they've watched a special or saw a video of you online, just go to your A material that's always worked. So do what you do. It's kind of, I know, like in the gym and whatnot, sparring, in fights, if I'm getting pounded, I just think hold, get distance, and start jabbing. And so kind of do what you do. Sometimes people, it's a simple thing to yell, but some people just do it and they don't know what they're talking about too.
I would say probably most people don't, unless they're in the corner or something, right? They just,
I mean,
some corners don't know what they're doing.
you know, that's exactly. Most people, just if you want to know, just ask Roger and Floyd Joy Mayweather. Because for years they've been saying, I won't say it because it's a family show, but they say, nobody knows nothing about boxing. And it's true, man. I say it every day, man, during class.
well, tell us about your keep yourself, your shoulder versus squaring up, Dave. You were teaching us that last week.
Yeah.
You want to
There's
talk?
a lot.
You have to condense it in like a minute, but what your idea is that too many people have the wrong idea when it comes.
Oh yeah, man. They don't know. I'm not lying and saying that. I'm not just saying that. Literally, nobody knows how to throw a punch and hold it or freeze, or they don't know why they're standing a certain way or anything. I honestly think I've heard people say, "Could you hit my hand with a dart right here?" And you're like, "Yeah. How about now?" And you're like, "Well, no." And like, "Well, that's how it is. You want to stand sideways." And I just feel like it's so people start standing sideways all the time, and they don't have good footwork. But I'm not the one saying it. USA Boxing is the one saying it.
Oh, I know that.
This is why USA Boxing is making people now try to start telling coaches to train new fighters to stand in what they call a static neutral stance. But I call it squared stance. But I've been teaching that squared stance forever because it helps people with their footwork. But
Well, you're able to throw.
I literally have professional fighters come in here that don't know they can't throw a punch and hold it. They get all awkward if I tell them to freeze and hold the punch and hold it and show me the technique and like do anything slow. They can't do it. Sometimes those guys can still fight. There's more to it than just
The reason I asked
the technique.
Charles, the reason I asked him this is because you were talking about some people in the corner don't know what they're talking about also. Have you ever had experience of corner people who aren't doing a good job?
I mean,
Yeah.
didn't Teofimo Lopez's dad just embarrass himself when he fought Cambosos?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, he gave him zero feedback after every round.
Well, and look at
And that's a world champion.
Yeah, and we were talking about the Tyson Douglas fight before we started recording, and Tyson had his good buddy in his corner when he fought Douglas. His eyes start swelling up, and what does he do? He fills up a latex glove with ice water.
One of the most funniest things I've ever saw. That big.
And that's,
Dude.
I mean, that's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That's the biggest stage in the world, right there.
right.
Undefeated heavyweight championship fight, and he doesn't know how to pull out an end swell.
In the film, Stoker has two guys who don't even want him to win, who are giving him bad advice because they want to collect on the bet with the mob that they haven't told him about.
I did like that the movie was short.
72 minutes.
It's very, very odd, the people and stuff, like the characters and stuff, they just seemed like slimy and gross.
They came out of it's like a Bud Schulberg novel. Schulberg wrote The Harder They Fall.
You didn't mention that they were slimy and gross, man. half these people are just, it's weird. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
But the fighters have a certain camaraderie.
I'm pretty.
I was like, geez, man.
I'm pretty desensitized towards a lot of that stuff because of being involved in some of the business aspects of it. I've gotten desensitized where I see some of the stuff and it's like, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about what they did being slimy and gross.
Oh.
I'm talking about the people looked slimy and gross to me. That little dude, the little Red, is that his name?
Red, yeah.
Red was the slimiest, grossest looking dude.
Well,
Where'd you get this guy from, the circus?
It's a hot
Was he
night.
a freak show,
There's
man?
not much air conditioning.
I mean, this
Everybody's
guy,
smoking.
that dude, how tall was that guy in real
He's
life?
actually a famous character actor. I can't remember his name right
Man, that guy was
now.
something else. And then the guy that they kept show eating, man, he was just this gross.
They're
dude.
stereotypes of
Ugly,
the fight
gross,
game. You know,
slimy.
what do you think of a guy? Remember the guy who kept who was selling Knockout magazine, and he was always saying, "You can beat him, Stoker. You can beat him." His name was Bat. He's not in the credits, but he reminds me of the punch-drunk fighter who hasn't fought for a couple of years, and the only job he can get now is selling Knockout magazine at the fights. It's rather pitiful, but he's also one of the positive characters in that movie. You know?
Man, you know, the simpy wife that just is like
Audrey
all-
Trotter.
Stop, don't fight, babe. Man, they've been doing that since the 50s.
It was 40s.
It's
That was 40. This
the
is 49.
40s.
He fought.
49.
He said he had fought his first fight when he was 20 years ago. So he'd fought as early as the 20s.
Man,
She'd
dude,
stuck
can't they
with
just
him.
have a wife that's supportive?
You know, I'm more sympathetic to her. I mean, he probably has a record of
Man,
like 15 and 60.
Always just bringing me down. There's some
Well, you
wife
see,
in the movie, fight of the boxer, the fighter, whoever.
did your
name-
wives
name
give
another
you,
boxing
Did your
movie.
wives give you support to continue on?
Yeah, man, if I took a fight tomorrow, my wife would be like, psh.
But Charles,
Oh,
I think you
yeah.
get the wrong answer. A different answer
Take-
from Charles,
take
though,
it.
right?
Yeah, he already said his wife said no.
Yeah,
And
but
I was just thinking
there's
at
a
that time, my old lady would be like, yeah, let's get that fridge.
Dave, if you
my wife.
go on.
Still, we were only a few months into our marriage. She wanted to make sure that I was around for a little while. But you know, my wife said no. But my wife was also, when I fought Gary, and Gary knocked me out, by the way. So there's some good stuff about Gary. When I fought Gary, her and her mom sat at the table taking the ticket money. When Tracy and I promoted a card 12 years ago today, she sat in the table
Oh, she was very supportive there.
taking
Yeah.
the ticket money. When we promoted another card, she was there. She was doing a lot of the back end administrative stuff. Tracy would say, "Hey, we need this." My wife would go do this, that, and the other. And she knew. We lost money on those cards too. It wasn't just Tracy's money. It wasn't just people that sponsored and whatnot. We lost money too on those cards, number one. Number two, she knew, or number three, she knew the big reason why I was doing this wasn't for a payday or anything, or a job, or a hope that we were going to make it. It was so maybe I could get a favorable fight on one or two of these cards as well down the road. It was setting up those opportunities so I could fight and possibly not have to go fight Andrew Tabithy on a Canelo undercard for $3,000 to get knocked out in the first minute of the round, that I could fight somebody that's my equal so I could have that
Well, you
equal footing
almost got a
fight.
fight with Freddie Martinez at one point. That would have been an interesting fight if it ever happened.
Yeah, it would have.
It would have been an interesting fight. And, but she didn't really.
Fat Freddie.
If someone with the talent
I
of
call him
Abdullah,
Fat Freddie.
if someone with the
Man,
talent,
how tall is Freddie?
He's like 5'6", 5'7", I think.
Yeah.
I
Freddie
think-
was great when he was one division above me.
I loved it when Freddie won that one fight on Chris Fernandez's. No, he won it on the fight that you fought Gary on.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
knocked
Yeah,
out a guy
man.
from Vegas.
I
Drew
cornered him
Davis.
for that fight.
Yeah, that was
I
nice.
wasn't supposed to corner him.
He kept throwing those wild left hooks, but they finally started landing on the guy.
Well, Freddie can come into the gym, even being off the couch, and spar 10 rounds with all my fighters because he's relaxed.
Right.
He's been doing it his whole life. Yeah, man, so I insisted on cornering Freddie for that fight. He showed up late to get a paycheck, and I was just told him, man, you need to go out and relax. This guy he fought, remember that guy he fought?
Yes, I do.
He was a bodybuilder.
He was a hopeful MMA guy.
Yeah.
Man, that guy was a bodybuilder.
But he wanted.
I got a video. I have the video on my phone right here.
But
I
he,
recorded
but
him.
no, but he wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, that guy. So I told Freddie, man, just don't try to knock this dude out first couple. Just relax, and the guy's gonna get tired, and then he's yours. And he knocked him out.
He did. It was a great win. The guy kept his chin up a little too high in the fight.
But also, Freddie did a thing where he level changes a lot because
Yeah.
he's been doing this since he was a kid. So even being out of shape, even in a pro fight when the guy's on the verge of getting knocked out, Freddie comes out, starts level changing right off the bat. That's why I have the video to show people how to level change.
Okay, do you remember the guy,
Oh, I'm done now.
Came from
Sorry, Doug.
somewhere
Sorry,
north.
I apologize.
Brigham City or Logan, said he knocked out everybody in the gym and he needed somebody good to spar
man, I'll
against.
never
And he went to
forget
spar
this.
against Val, and the guy was very, very confident. I'm not going to use another word. Very confident. And I wasn't really paying attention. They started sparring, and I looked over, and the guy was prone on the canvas.
Yeah, man.
Val
I'll
had knocked
never
him out
forget
in
that.
sparring in like about a minute.
Hey,
It was a lesson learned, right?
you, can,
Go on.
should I tell that story also?
Sure.
That guy called me up wanting some sparring, and so I said, sure. I said, I got a guy named Val, and he goes, okay, nobody that I've ever sparred with has been able to go more than 2 or 3 rounds with me. And I'm like, all right, Val will definitely be able to go rounds with you, no problem at all. So it was like, whatever, I get these calls all the time. I didn't think I'd hear from this guy again. So then it was like a week later, I get a call from him. He goes, hey, this is so-and-so I talked to you about sparring. He goes, you mentioned you had Valente Tinajero to spar with. And I didn't say Valente Tinajero, I said Val. So when he said that, when he looked him up, it got my attention. He goes, what? He goes, I go, yeah, I did. He goes, well, I looked him up, and I don't think he can go more than 2 or 3 rounds with me.
He said it, didn't he?
He said it, man. And then he literally planned this, so it was funny because by the time he got down here, it was a month in kind of waiting. Man, I was just ready. I wasn't even training about it. I was just ready to watch this fight. I wanted to see. The guy called and wanted to say. He said, I want to make sure if I come down with my coach and my wife, my girlfriend, whatever, if I knock out Val, if you guys aren't going to be mad at me. And I said, no, we will not be mad at you. I said, we will train you for free, and everyone will love you if you knock out Val, including Val, you know? And so, man, he showed up, and he really did try to knock out Val for 1 round. He went, he did some bag work. We could tell he was a novice. He gets in there, he unloaded everything on Val. Val just worked defense for 1 round. Second round, Val comes out and just touched him and knocked him out. I have that guy's headgear still, is this blue headgear. That was my trophy.
It's just
Because I had to crawl in the ring and take the headgear off this dude, man. He didn't even remember what happened. And then it was wild because he was calling me up for like a week or so after, and he said his girlfriend and his wife, whatever, they had to tell him what happened, and he was concussed or whatever. But then it was like a week later, he's calling me, and he started saying that he started accusing Val of double wrapping his hands. And at that point, I had to just tell the guy, man, like, it doesn't matter if Val's hands are wrapped once, twice, 3 times. You didn't know what you're getting into. Val is a professional. You haven't ever been in there with somebody like Val. It's obvious. Doesn't matter. Val wasn't cheating. Get it through your skull. It's insulting at this point.
Yeah, that's an understanding. You know, what's interesting is fighters even today, I think the movie, the setup is pretty realistic on the ideas fighters have about their chances and things like that. The world they live in, the hopes and dreams they have. Do you agree with me?
Somewhat.
Well, I see guys.
I think the discussion at the beginning when they're talking about, well, if I do this, but even his goals had been reduced to, hey, at best I could get $500 to start my cigar stand. Not, hey, if I win that one, then I'm going to be a world champion. People do taper their goals to what their reality is, and they might still be too lofty, but by that time he probably realized he wasn't going to get a shot at a world title or a regional title.
He looked wise enough to figure that out.
Yeah.
He had a world-weary look about him. You know that guy who played Ryan was the four...
Man, what did you just say?
He had a world-weary look.
Everyone in the movie had a world-weary look to him.
Some had petulant looks on them.
No,
But
man,
some of these cards that you go to a Flash Newman
The only person
card.
who looked normal was the wife.
The wife?
Yeah, she was the only one that looked like a normal person.
You know, she did
I
care
literally
about them.
wonder, where did they get these people?
Well, they're character actors in Hollywood. They put makeup on them, make them look the way you decry.
This was like,
let's
you
go.
said it
Do
was at
you
Paradise
think,
City.
Doug,
Yeah.
do you think that might have been intentional though? Where the movie ends with her saying, well, I guess we both won. Her husband's beaten, who knows if he's going to be able to go get a job at the
She's
docks.
actually, she doesn't like him being beaten, but she's happy about that. Remember, he tells her, I'll never fight again.
That was the only time she's happy was when
Yeah.
she found out his hand was broken.
But we don't know their 20-year history.
Only time she
okay?
was nice.
You remember how
was when he
concerned
come
she
out
was
all
when she
beat
thought he
up.
was going to be knocked out again, listening to the radio, and the tobacco salesman sort of poking fun at her. You know, she gets relieved when she finds out this poor gunboat who got his head torn off in the second round, not her husband. But let's talk about the fight. The fight's done in real time. It's a 4-round fight. How realistic do you think it was?
Could you explain what you mean by it was done in real time?
You're watching a fight that lasted about 12 minutes with 12 to 13 minutes with the minute between rounds and things like that. That's a 4-round fight where our hero, Stoker, knocks out Tiger Jones, and as you just mentioned, pays for it. Not his corrupt manager or trainer. He knocks him out in the 4th round. It's done in real time, where you're like actually in the arena watching the fight. Now they do click off, they do go away sometimes to his wife, but it's all in real time.
And by that you mean they show the clock, then they do the movie part, and then they show the clock. So
Well, actually they show the clock mainly
tell-
outside.
The way you explained it to me made it sound real cool, like this was the first movie they had done their whole real time.
It is. People think it's High Noon with Gary
Yeah.
Cooper, but it's actually this movie. You see the
thought
clock.
that was
What
kinda
time was it? Like
That was like the coolest thing.
it's like
of
9:06
this movie, man.
in the clock, and then it's like about an hour 12 later at 10:16. When you see her holding her husband, and she's saying, "We both won." If you look far, you'll see the clock saying 10:16 or something.
Okay, so I don't necessarily believe that's real time. I mean, most boxing cards,
No. We had this discussion with
yeah.
Doug.
Okay.
It
I'm sure
doesn't
they had
mean they
scenes.
actually filmed it in the actual time
no,
period.
but part of
But
part
in
part
the
of
movie, it was portrayed in real time.
But part of what he's saying is that the whole thing was real time. I don't know, because there's time in between fights. There's time. It wouldn't be real. But I get what.
no.
I get
That's the discussion I had with
Oh,
him.
I mentioned.
Yeah.
I
He
mentioned
explained
to you
me
that
it-
you
I
have
mean-
to suspend disbelief a little bit
No,
because there's
in
3
the
or 4
movie
fights.
they showed the clock, and then they did the thing, and then they showed the clock again.
So
in
the end of the
movie,
beginning of the movie,
the
it says,
portrayal of
yeah.
it is as if
Charles,
it was
I
done
agree
in
with
real
you
time.
that that's a bit of a suspension of disbelief, but
Right.
that's the intention they had with
Man,
the film.
everything's a suspension in disbelief, according to an actor I know.
Well, acting is
bothers
make believe.
It's like.
But
a
how good is the
cop-out.
fight, do you
Suspension
think?
of
How
disbelief.
good was the fight? How realistic was it to you guys?
Well,
It's a really competitive fight.
are we gonna give it a thumbs up or thumbs
Yeah,
down?
give us a
thing?
thumbs down. What I mean,
No, I'm saying the 3 of us. Did you give it? Hey, if you got 2 thumbs, you go.
I
Go
got 2
ahead.
thumbs up for this
2
fight.
thumbs up. Now your turn.
Maybe 1 thumb up.
Okay, so you got one thumb up, one down.
Yeah.
Okay, now, everyone out there got to watch this movie, man, and just tell me if you could even put one thumb up. But I don't think I can. I got to go 2 thumbs down.
I think that Tiger Jones came out of the fight beginning thinking he's just going to carry him for 2 rounds. And then he suddenly gets hit. And then he gets hit some more in the second round. He's actually hurt, but he's still feeling reassured they're going to end the fight in the third. And at that point, it turns into a pretty good slugfest, where he almost knocks Stoke out in the 3rd and 4th round. But he shoots his bolt in the 4th round. And Stoker is actually is able to knock him out late in the 4th round. I thought for a boxing film of that era, it was pretty well done. I don't know how many you've seen.
You know what I honestly was considering myself? Have you ever seen the movie Snatch? Have you seen Snatch with Brad Pitt?
Years ago.
What's his name? Jason Statham's in it. He plays a bookie.
Yeah.
Like a boxing guy, promoter dude. Anyways, that's one of my favorite movies that I give 2 thumbs up for boxing. It's kind of, but my point is this. There are a lot of similarities because it's sort of like that. It's dealing with like people supposed to take a dive in a boxing match and this and that. And man, you got to give that a shot. You got to watch that again.
Well,
Let's
watch
talk
it
about that next time. But I was actually wondering, because here's the thing, this is one of it's the oldest boxing movie I've watched, 49 or whatever. So, I mean, that might have actually been some inspiration for these other.
It might be. What I like about this, and also Fat City, which we talked about a few months ago, is they portray boxing as it is when you're in a certain lower strata of the sport, okay? And boxing is also a sport where you can.
Yeah, but they all do.
You can
every
train.
movie does.
No, Rocky doesn't. Creed
yeah,
doesn't.
it does. Rocky was a journeyman scrub who
yes,
just got a draw.
Can I just say something? I love Rocky.
He didn't even win.
I mean, it made me love boxing. But if Rocky Balboa had fought Apollo Creed, he would have been knocked out like they said it should have been in the 3rd round. Boxing is a very cruel sport. You can work your tail off.
What I'm saying is every single boxing show portrays it just like those. They show it.
No,
look,
Rocky is a fairy tale. I love it, but it's a fairy tale. It would never happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Rocky V, Tommy Gunn comes from the streets.
That's the one everybody wants to forget, but I've only seen it once. It's not a bad movie. It ends with a street fight, okay?
Yeah, man, it's the best one.
That's he's laughing over
Unpopular opinion, Rocky V's the best.
But
That's
I
the
like
only one I watched in the theater.
This movie with setup is brutal. It's pessimistic. It's got passion, though. It's got characters who really, really convey a deep desire to succeed in something against really strong odds. And look at this guy wins this big fight. To him, it's a personal triumph. He probably got $150 and he got the crap kicked out of him.
He probably didn't get any money. They probably took it out of his pockets after they beat him up.
I couldn't believe it. They don't show that, but that's a point possible.
If he got it at all, you got to remember, back then there was no commission at a lot of these fights to come and hand you your pay afterwards. They came in and accused him of welching, and he got dressed as fast as he could and got out of there.
Well, look at Gus. Even nice character Gus ran like a scared rabbit when the mob told him to get out of the room. By the way, Dave, when it comes to Rocky, I do like the part where Rocky's I love the opening scene. The opening club fight, I like where Rocky's being paid, okay, you get $40 winner's share, minus towel, minus manager fee, here's $25. That was pretty realistic.
It's
think
realistic.
That Sylvester Stallone was inspired by this movie?
Sylvester Stallone was inspired by a guy named Chuck Wepner, who almost went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. That inspired Stallone.
Yeah, but he might have watched this movie and been like, hey,
I'm sure he has watched the film.
Let's add some of these elements, the wife that's disapproving, all of that stuff. The fight,
man,
you wanted to talk about the fight. And
Adrian.
The psychological part of the fight where, you talk about Tiger, and he, the mobsters are like, yeah, don't make it look too bad or something like that. And he's like, he's just all happy-go-lucky. And then he realized he's in a fight. Whether it's a paid setup, he knew he was in a paid setup. I mean, he was part of the gang that beat him up afterwards. So,
I hate that, by the way. I hate that he's part of that gang. Still.
But he's the muscle. So, you think about.
Man, how old were you when you first saw this, Doug?
Oh, I saw this movie probably about 30 years ago.
So he was probably about, what are you, 32?
I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Watching TCM, it showed up.
But when you think about it, that's kind of, there's so many guys that have been fed these guys that they just go out and knock out. They just get in the ring, the tomato cans, as you would say, some Charles Presnell, that goes out there and gets knocked out in the first round, right? They get fed people like that, and then he fights somebody who is more of a seasoned veteran, could probably go rounds and whatnot. And after a couple of rounds, he realizes, I'm in an actual fight now. And then that's when the character comes in. Then he starts fighting harder, and he almost gets the knockout. But the problem is he fought too hard and punched himself out and got knocked out himself. And what the big mob boss says when he comes in is he says, few fights from now, nobody's going to remember Tiger losing.
That's a good point.
Which is absolutely true. I mean, you look at some of these fights. Look at Lomachenko. Lomachenko lost his second fight. He wins a couple more fights, and people forget that Lomachenko lost that fight.
Yeah.
And he lost it pretty bad.
What's your favorite part about the movie, Dave?
Lomachenko didn't really lose that fight, do you think? He didn't lose that bad.
Oh, he lost that pretty bad.
No way, man.
Yeah.
Guys,
He got
it's
robbed.
Nice to talk about
He
Lomachenko.
got robbed, man.
Robbed,
Revisit that fight.
That was like a 117-111 is what I scored that fight. I probably
I thought it was his pro
What's
debut
the
he
guy's
lost, but
name
I could be
that he
wrong.
fought?
it was Orlando something.
Oh yeah, Orlando Salida.
Yeah, and
Man,
but
that
Salida
like
is
a
a
dirty,
good fighter.
grinding fighter. 10 or 12 rounds? Was it 12 rounds?
That was a 12-rounder. It was for a regional title. See,
Yeah,
Lomachenko was always in title fights. His pro debut was in a regional title
Yeah.
fight. It was like a WBO
They
regional
want him
fight.
to get a title fight for his
You're
first
talking about a
fight.
guy that
But
won
his
the Olympic
third
gold
fight
medal
was
3 or 4
for a
times
world
before he
title.
fought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys are guys who may have had 30 amateur fights. Back then, maybe not. They may have gone straight to pros back in the 40s and 30s.
I mean, you don't have to have a lot of that's the thing
yeah.
about boxing is you don't have to have a
You don't have to have any
Yeah.
amateur fights.
Is there anything good, Dave, about the setup?
It's short. It's not too long.
It's tight, concise,
It's not
right?
too long of a movie. What?
Was there any
Hey,
nobility in what he
Hey
did
man,
winning that
what
fight?
is the only good thing about it? I would say is this: look up what it means to be filmed in real time, and then if this movie really truly was done before high noon, then that's something,
Okay.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But in his depiction of boxing, do you see any positives in it? Was it realistic? Because when we're going back 60 years, I don't know what it was like 60 years, only based on what I've read in books and things like that.
Well,
I've seen old fight cards.
Hey, you know,
on
it is
YouTube.
interesting that it did portray a lot of things. One, yeah, okay, now that after having my conversation with you, I guess you could argue that it did show the woman not want to go, then she was real excited. So that was nice. It did show a bunch of dopey fans just freaking out.
I love the guy who pretended to be an announcer.
Yeah, and then it did show the dirty promoter, the dirty trainer, the disillusioned fighter, the simpy, unsupporting wife,
I think higher.
the
than you do.
mob. What else do you want?
No,
in a boxing
I'm
movie?
That's good.
What
Okay,
else
Charles,
you
what do you
want?
see? What's your,
And I agree. It checked all the boxes. I mean, I also agree with Dave where you know, everybody did look dirty, and maybe that was Hollywood. You got to remember, back in the day, these
Now
days,
you're thinking about it, man.
back in the day, boxing was as big as the NFL, right? Because back
It
then,
was.
you could cover the whole ring with one camera, and video cameras were expensive. Doing a production was a lot more expensive, but a boxing match was easy because you can do it with one camera, a couple of people talking in color, doing commentary in the background. So everybody I know that are a generation above me talks about watching the Gillette Friday night fights, right? So it was huge. It was a big sport. And you can make a comp to NFL. Everybody likes to talk bad about the NFL now. I think Hollywood was kind of poking the bear here.
And you know what? You have to listen very carefully in the movie. But that fight with Luther, was his name Luther, the African American fighter, that was televised. The reason that Stoker was fighting the wrap-up fight was because it was televised. The African American fight. Also, Little Boy is basically a stand-in for a guy named Frankie Carbo, who controlled the boxing in the mob all through the late 40s and 50s. So it was a setup, 1949. You can watch it for $3.99 or $2.99. You can buy it for under $10 as a streamer.
Just rent it. You will only watch it once.
You know what? You talk about it being brief. Films were generally that long back then.
Yeah.
Because it was expensive.
Yeah, and also because we're bloated now in movies. We make them too long. But also, when you went to the movie theaters in the 1940s, you saw a cartoon, you saw a newsreel, you saw a comedy short, you saw a B movie, and then you saw the main film. So you spent 3 to 4 hours at the movies back then.
Same thing. Now you spend, 35 minutes for previews
Oh, good Lord, yeah, you're right
and
about
ads, and then
You know, I couldn't find a trailer for the setup. I was looking for it.
I don't think they made.
Maybe they didn't make trailers back then.
they didn't want to make people not want to watch it.
Wow.
Dave, this is I have to speak up. This is a fantastic film, one of the best films about boxing.
I think it's got a 7.8 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's considered a classic, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I looked-
7.8
I-
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it was something high
5
like
people did it. 5 people
Dave,
voted on it.
If I
but 5
wasn't,
people
if I
have
wasn't
seen it.
convinced that either one of you would flatten me in 2 minutes, I'd fight for the honor of this film.
Yeah, you wouldn't,
Okay.
Doug. There's no way, man.
Well, anyways,
Um,
we're going to have to give it. Anything more to say, or do I wrap up now?
that. You can wrap up.
Okay, this is Plan 9 Crunch.
Let the good times roll, Doug.
You can subscribe Plan 9 Crunch on YouTube. We're at Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog on Facebook. We're at Plan 9 Crunch. You can on TikTok, and we have a blog called plan9crunch.com. I'll probably write a review of this movie just to spite you, okay? And that's a wrap.
Boom.